Good morning! Today I'm going to show you the perfect morning routine for violin beginners that I developed and tested with hundreds of students. A 15-minute per day, simple but powerful violin workout plan that will help you play the violin beautifully, even if you have a crazy busy schedule and not much time to practice. Exercise 1 is a very easy exercise that will help you develop a beautiful sound. Exercise 2 will help you play systematically in tune, even if you think you have bad hearing. And exercise 3 will allow you to master your favorite songs in record time. But stick around to the end to learn our motivation method. It will keep you super motivated to practice every single day, even if you have had trouble sticking to a consistent practice schedule in the past. And exercise 1 is what I call the frog exercise that will help you have a beautiful sound. One of the biggest issues with adult beginners is that their bow posture is way too tense. And the thing is that the bow posture is not something fixed like in a book, it's something dynamic that moves along and is different at the frog and at the tip of the bow. And if you're not doing that right, your sound will sound empty or scratchy. So here's the exercise. First part is that we'll try moving the bow with the finger only. For that you can just hold it in front of you, and first you will try moving the bow down and up by stretching the finger down and up like that. Let's show a few times. I stretch the finger completely and then I pull the bow up again. The thing by doing all the exercise you will see now is that you need to have the best possible posture, and that's a start posture, okay? And the start posture, that's really the thumb here in the middle, the third finger against it here, the ring finger here, not here on the top, but really here, a little bit lower. Then the index finger here, not on the last part, not on the first part, more here, on the knuckle, and then your fourth finger really here on top of the bow, okay? But everything round and relax. Then after you did this exercise with the finger stretch and around, you will turn the bow so that it's vertical, and you will now move the bow up and down. Up, down, up, down. And basically when the bow is up, that's your start position that we saw, okay? This is the up position. And then to go down, you will stretch the finger. The important thing is to go back to the up position. Then you will do the same with the violin on the string. You put the bow on the string, that's step 1. Then you pull the string with the fingers only by stretching the finger. And then again in the other direction. And by doing that, you want to make sure that you use only the finger. You can see my whole arm is not moving. My hand is the same. Only my fingers. And while doing that, you want to try to stay very relaxed so that the sound still sounds good and nice. Then you want to do that in each part of the bow. You will start at the frog. And then in every part of the bow, especially the tip of the bow, that is quite difficult. And the next exercise is that you will do the same by really pulling and pushing the string. That means at the start of the note, you will want to create a small tick. For that, you need first to put the bow on the string, then feel some tension, put some tension on the string with the bow, really feel that you can pull and push the string without producing a sound. And then you will pull with the fingers at once. And the same in the other direction, pushing. And then here comes the frog exercise. And it's not called the frog exercise because I'm French. So now at the frog, you will push the string. And at the tip of the bow, you will pull the string. Like that. And that's why it's called the frog exercise. Now let's go to exercise 2, mastering every left hand combination. The thing is that no matter what you play, classical music, film music, pop music, when you play on the violin, you are always playing one note and then a second one. And even if you play in the end like 100 notes, you need always to play one note to the next one. This is called the transition. And this is what is difficult. What is difficult is not playing one note, it's playing the transition from one note to the next one. And that's why what we want to do is to focus on mastering those two notes combination. Because they are smaller, and because of that, way easier to master. Here we have 3 steps. Step 1 is to choose one variation. Step 2 is to calibrate. Step 3 to automate. So let's see every step. Step 1 is choose one variation. Basically, you should decide which string you want to practice, so G, D, A, or E. Then you want to choose which tonality or finger pattern you will use. Well, let's say you decided you will practice on the D string. Now the question is, which notes are you gonna to play? D, E, F sharp, G, A, that means this second finger pattern like that, or maybe instead D, E, F, G, A with the first finger pattern. You need to know that and decide. Then the next thing is that you will decide which finger combination you will use. First finger to second finger, first finger to third finger, and so on. So let's choose the second finger pattern and with F sharp and first to third finger as a combination. So here, for example, you can see some combination we give our students in the Violinacademy. So let's do GA. My step 2 will be to calibrate it. As a beginner, the easiest way to calibrate is really to just listen to the note you are gonna play and then play after you listen to the recordings. And I will show you a very easy way to do that yourself. You just need a software for writing music sheet and playing them back. So this is, for example, not Flight, it's free, but there are a ton of other softwares that do exactly the same thing. And I will add here my G, you say it in half note, then I will write an A. And that's all. Okay, now I could add some repeat, so that it always repeat. And now I can play it and listen to it. Okay. Good, I could play it slower, of course. And then I listen to it, and then I close my eyes and try to do the same. Or I could just play at the same time, but then I should do that very, very slowly. Okay, like that. Then when I'm sure I'm playing the right note, finish calibrating, I want to automate those notes. For that, I will play them in half note, quarter note, eighth note, like you can see here. By playing it in different rhythm and starting very slowly in half note, that will allow me to really automate the right movement and make sure that when I need to play that in a piece, I can do it. Then exercise 3 is the 7-step method to master any piece. So the most issue I see with beginners that they have songs they love, but those songs are a little bit too difficult. We think they still can't really play. And then they just try to repeat those pieces over and over again, and it doesn't really work because there is too much difficulties at the same time. And they end up repeating everything wrong too many times, leading to bad habits. What you could do instead is to practice at least the left hand and the bow separately. For that, let me show you the 2 most important steps of the 7 steps methods. So let's take as example Dvorak New World Symphony. It's not a very difficult piece, but you could do the same method for any piece. So step 4 is that we want to master the left hand first. For that, instead of playing everything like it is written, we will play first every note after another in half note without repetition. It will look like that. and so on. Then after we did that, we'll do the same as we did before, playing it in quarter note and eighth note so that we automate it. And eighth note. So step 5 then is mastering the bow. Here we want to focus only on the bow without the left hand by playing the piece on open strings. And first we could do that without any slur, so it will look like that actually. And then we should do it with slurs, and if you do it with slurs, actually it looks as easy as that. And at this point, you should be ready for step 6, playing everything together, but first really focusing only on the technique. So now let's go to the bonus, our motivation method. So if you are difficulty practicing consistently, especially practicing consistently the right thing, that will really help you. First principle is that you can only improve what you measure. That means if you are not measuring anything or just practicing here and there, and you can't tell me like what you practiced yesterday, how well you played 2 weeks ago, then you are not measuring. And that's why it's difficult to progress and to notice your progress. Instead, what you want to do is first to measure your practice time with a practice diary. So this is, for example, the practice plan from a student who just started with us, and like I said, just simple. Just write in each column which date it is, and then what you practice. You have, for example, block A is the sound, block B, one string exercise, for how long. And you could just do that on a piece of paper. It could be very simple. But that will hold you accountable and really help you to visualize what you really practice and where you invested time. And the next point is that the only way to really measure your progress is to record yourself. For that, you could just do a 1-minute video with your phone every 2 weeks. And that will allow you every 2 weeks and later on after a month to check how you played months ago. And this will really allow you to see which progress you made. And I can tell you that when we introduced the practice diary years ago, I directly saw a big difference with all our students. It's the same with the video recording. It's really helped you play the violin way better because then you can yourself see and hear how you really play and see your progress. And what I would advise you is to practice every day at least 15 minutes, and you could do every one of those 3 exercises I showed, each one for 15 minutes. For example, on the Monday, exercise 1, Tuesday, exercise 2, Wednesday, exercise 3, and so on. And if you practice longer, you could do all of those exercises on the same day, but try to do 15 minutes per exercise.